Hey, I found a thumb drive that works. Good deal. Okay, objective today. We are talking about adding and multiplying radicals. Radicals. Now the word radical, it's a weird word, but radical means roots. It just means roots. And they call them radicals for a reason. Because they're numbers that are these ugly decimals. That's why they're called radicals. They're the ugly decimals. They go on forever. They never repeat. They're just really bad numbers, so they call them radicals. Okay, that's why they're radicals. Okay, so let's take a look at number one. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply regular numbers with regular numbers. I'm going to get 4, and I'm going to multiply square root numbers with square root numbers. So I'm going to get 4 square roots of 18. Okay. Now, I would normally be done, but I can break down 18. So I'm going to take it a step further, okay? Now, the 4 is a whole number. Leave the 4 alone. But the 18, I can make it into 9 times 2. Square root of 9 times square root of 2. Don't use 3 and 6. Yes, 3 and 6 will make 18, but neither one of those numbers, 3 or 6, are one of my perfect square roots, right? So from here, I can take the square root of 9 and make that a 3, right? So I'll have this 4 times a 3, and the square root of 2 is still an ugly number, so I'll leave it as the square root of 2. Finally, 4 times 3, regular whole numbers, makes 12, square root of 2. Abby, give me a question.
Why don't you leave the 3 as a square root, because there's a 9 in it?
Right, really good question. If it was a square root of 3, I would do that definitely, but the square root of 9 is just plain old 3. Square root of 9 is 3. Good question. Like, what's the square root of 9? 3. Just plain old 3. Because I took 18, and what times what makes 18? Let's do the next one. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah.
Why don't you do the FOIL?
Ah, there's no plus or minuses. Look at example 4.
Oh, that one will do FOIL.
See the difference? Okay, number 2. So, same thing. Regular numbers with regular numbers. We're multiplying regular numbers with regular numbers. So I'm going to get an 8. And square root numbers with square root numbers. So I'm going to get a square root of 9x squared. Okay, now these two are pretty good because I can do the square root of 9 and I can do the square root of x squared. I don't have to break them down. They're regular, they're good numbers. So if I take the square root of 9, right, that is 3. So I've got my 8 times my 3, plain old 3, right, square root of 3. And I'm going to take half of my exponent because x times x makes x squared. So the square root of x squared is just an x. 8 times 3 is 24x. Okay, example 3. How am I doing so far? Good. So example 3 is going to be a distribute. Example 3 is distribute. So to distribute, I'm going to go 2 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 3. And then I'm going to go 2 square root of 3 times 1. Okay, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to go 2 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 3, and then I'm going to go 2 square root of 3 times 1. Okay, so let's do it. So, first of all, ignore the 1. Just ignore the 1. 2 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 3 is 6 square roots of 9. You guys see it? See the 6 square roots of 9? I went 2 times 3, which is 6, and square root of 9, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9. Then, I'm going to go 2 square root of 3 times 1. Now, I'm going to multiply regular numbers with regular numbers. So 2 times 1 is 2, but I'm also multiplying by a square root of 3, so I bring it along. Okay? So 2 times 1 is 2, but I'm multiplying by the square root of 3, so it has to be part of the answer. Okay, now, I'm going to take the square root of 9, which is 3, right? I have this 6 with me still, right? So square root of 9 is 3. No, but you're ahead of me. I like that, okay? Now, 6 times 3 is 18 plus 2 square roots of 3. Now, a little side work, okay? If I had 18 plus 2x, just x's, right? Can you add those? Please say no. can't, right? Because that's a number, and that's an x, right? So we're not going to add these either because they're not the same. So only add them when they're the same. Only add them when they're the same, okay? How am I doing? Thumbs up? Sideways? Okay. Okay, number 4 is a FOIL problem, or a double distribute, okay? Hi. I'm recording, but it's somewhere around there. Okay, so we're going to multiply this times this. This times this, right? Then you're going to bring it back, aren't you?
Yeah.
This times this times this, right? Okay, so we're gonna FOIL. So real quickly, watch. I'm gonna go 5 square root of 2 with the 2 square root of 2, right? It's gonna give me a 10 square root of 4. 10 square root of 4. I'm gonna write that down. 10 square root of 4. Okay. Then I'm gonna go 5 square root of 2 times negative 7. Multiply regular numbers with regular numbers. Okay. 5 times 2. Good question. Okay. Now, regular numbers with regular numbers. Okay. 5 times 7 is 35, right? So I'm going to get a negative 35 square root of 2 because I've got to bring the square root of 2 with it. So 5 square root of 2 times negative 7. Regular numbers with regular numbers is negative 35 square root of 2. Okay. Now, these two. I'm going to get a 6 square root of 2. You guys see it? 6 square root of 2. I'm going to get a positive 6 square root of 2. Okay. Now, let's multiply the 3 and the 7. Those are regular numbers. 3 times negative 7, that's easy, negative 21, right? Alright? So, I multiplied double distributor, call it FOIL, whatever. Now, let's see what I got. I can do this. Square root of 4 is what? 2. So let's make that 10 times 2. And then I can make that a 20. You guys okay with that? Make that a 20. Everybody okay with making that a 20? These two are the same. These two are the same. I can add these. Well, actually subtract them, right? Negative 35 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 2 will make a negative 29. Negative 29 square root of 2. Okay? So I subtracted those because they were the same, right? And then minus 21. I'm just going to bring that down because that's a regular whole number. Okay, last step. These two are the same, right? That's a regular number with a regular number. Integer minus an integer is a negative 1 minus 29 square root of 2. That's it, because these are not the same. You cannot add or subtract them unless they're the same. You can multiply anything. You can multiply anything, but you cannot add things that are not the same. So I'm done. Okay. Sideways thumb. That was a little bit harder. Sideways thumb. Okay. Thumbs up. I like thumbs up. That's good. Okay. Okay. Number 5. Number 5 is pretty easy. It really is. Okay. So truly, only add the things that are the same. So if I look up here, there's only 2 things I can add. What are the 2 things I can add? You guys agree? I can put these 2 together and only those 2, okay? So if I put these 2 together, I'll have a 3 square roots of 5, because there's no other square roots of 5, right? I'll have plus a 6 square roots of 3, because there's no other square roots of 3. Can't do anything with those. But these 2 are going to make a negative 6 square roots of 2. 4 of these minus 10 of these makes negative 6 of these, but of these are the square roots of 2's, right? 4 square roots of 2's minus 6 square roots of 2's makes a total of 6 square roots of 2, okay? Thumbs up? Only add them if they're the same. Now, 6.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, you bet.
So, for the 2's, why didn't you just multiply them?
Where?
With the 4 square root of 2 and the negative 10 square root of 2?
Oh, it's a subtract. It's a subtract. Leanne, it's a subtract, not a multiply, okay? It's not negative, okay? All right, 6. Now, first, when I look at 6, I think to myself, well, I'm done. I can't add them because they're different, right? But maybe I can add them. Maybe I can make them the same if I reduce them, right? So let's reduce them. 3. Now, what do you know about 18? What times what makes 18?
9 and 2.
Awesome. Square root of 9, square root of 2. Perfect. What times what makes 50?
5 and 2.
Awesome. You are getting this. 25
How about Giselle?
and 2. Is that Giselle?
Yeah.
Sorry. So, all right. So I broke down 18, broke down 50. So let's let's go a step further, okay? Okay, here's my 3. Square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3, right? Can't do the square root of 2. It's an ugly number, right? So leave it alone. There's the 4. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 2, leave it alone. It's an ugly number. So it's an irrational. It's a radical. Okay? Now, 3 times 3, that's easy. Tana? Why don't you wait till I'm done? 9 square root of 2 plus 20 square root of 2, right? Can I add them? Yeah, I can add them. I can add them now, can't I? So I'm going to have a 29 square root of 2. Okay, I want to look at our journal real quickly. Okay? You can go real